Or I guess a good night if I don't know if it's late for you. Hopefully you're having a good night if you are. All right, let's go ahead and go. We have the US agent. We have Man-Thing. Gonna get pretty congested in the left lane pretty quick. I'm gonna go ahead and go US agent right. And then Josie, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great night so far. We are back. We're back to do a little bit more climbing. I wasn't quite ready to be able to go to sleep. Everyone at the house finally wound down, and so I figured what better time. 10 p.m. over here? Yeah, it's around midnight my time, but we're gonna be doing a degenerate late night stream. I'm excited to try out a little bit more with Symbiote Spider-Man now that kind of the waves have calmed down a little bit. I think it'll be something. I think it'll be pretty fun to see. So we could go Man-Thing. We could just go something like Chimichanga and Skip. Otherwise, we're gonna fill up the left lane. I kind of want to get Man-Thing down. We can go ahead and do that now, I guess. And then DuckDales, welcome in. I'm doing a late night stream for you guys. How many hours are you gonna stream? Probably 7. I'd say 7 or so.
I found a rock.
Not a great rotation for him. Chimichanga comes into play, and then the Mantis shifts over. Definitely not a great set of locations for him. We can do Red Guardian so that our Abomination becomes free next turn. We probably get the retreat after this, but I watched your new cards review video. Will you continue doing these? And so I want to, Josie, and I think maybe if I do a handful, so like that first one did pretty poorly in terms of like how my videos normally, like viewership that my videos normally get. But I think it's probably one that will take some time to kind of adjust that type of content that I'm creating. And so I'm at least gonna do, when the patches come out, I'm at least gonna do a like a card preview. So the ones that get data mined, I think those will be like the most exciting, the ones that most people will like pop in to look at, and then maybe we'd continue to do like the preseason roundup. But I would like to kind of start kind of implementing some different types of content into what I upload. That way it's not like strictly set on like finding the best deck every couple of days. Because sometimes there's going to be duds, and I don't want to put out dud content. And so then I end up putting in a lot of extra time. DuckDales, you said I unfortunately got to hit the hay. DuckDales, or DuckDays. Dales, sorry. Hopefully you have a good rest of your night. I completely understand, though. Let's go ahead and go... Maybe we go Dazzler right. Looks like a Hella deck. I think we're pretty safe in being able to push big power into wherever we need. And then Kang with the Hydrate reminder. I appreciate you. Man, these locations are rough. Play in the left, get Vibranium. Play in the right, get Rocks. Or play into mid, have bigger power. How's the new card? The new cards are good. I enjoy the new cards. I'm gonna be switching back over to some Symbiote Spider-Man. I have one. I have one bounty that I'm finishing up. So we have the Patriot. We can do Blue Marvel next into something like Ultron. It still might not beat their high roll with like a Hella resummon, but I think it gets pretty close. Said I understand. Don't give up. You're close to becoming a full-time streamer. I'm nowhere near like the level of wanting to give up. I think I have some incredible viewership for taking as long of a break as I did, and I'm excited to continue to build that. So the Gambit comes down, discards their Hella, which is hella unfortunate for him. Let's go ahead and throw the Ultron. As long as they don't retreat, we'll be able to finish out the Alliance bounty. I just have to fill one more game with 4 locations.
There's no strings on me.
And then Buff Captain said, back for the late night gaming. We absolutely are. We could not pass it up. All right, finish that one.
Victory.
The last couple of weeks, I've kind of skimped on the Alliance bounties, and so I'm trying to knock out a few early. And then Lalo, welcome in, Lalo. Hopefully you're having a great one. So the other 2 are kind of generic. I can complete those just as we play. I think I'll do this one as well.
Epic.
All right. So we could run a little bit of what I was wanting to run. What I was wanting to test here, it looks like we're running to a quick ad break, but what I was wanting to test was a little bit of Surfer Symbiote, or Symbiote Surfer. I think with how many tech cards can be built into this deck, there's some interesting lines that you could potentially run with it. And then Leo, you said, I want to buy the season pass, but I haven't been playing much. Barely completed the last season pass. I understand that, Leo. The card seems pretty good, but if you're not playing very much, it's hard to justify. I get it. Playing the new Symbiote Spider-Man? Noah, we are. We are going to be running a little bit of the Symbiote Spider-Man. That just ended up pulling for Sable, but got Arisham for the first time. I can see why this card is busted. Hell, you got a good one, Real. And then Rio, welcome back in on the YouTube side. Hopefully you're having a great one so far. We stole their Shang-Chi, so we don't have to worry about anything going like over the top. So we're just looking to stack big into these 2 lanes. We've been playing him in a Gwynpool Shaw deck. Yeah, so I don't have Shaw. I think this one probably comes in as a close second because it has a lot of good like utility tools. You can either use Symbiote into like a big buffed up Silver Surfer trigger. You could use it as a secondary Gwynpool, which could get you a pretty big burst, and a couple of other cool lines. And then Arnem, welcome in on the YouTube side. They go Loki, so they're stealing our cards. Typically not incredibly great for them. You have the Brood. We can go like Red Guardian. This lane becomes kind of scary because I don't know if we win it. And if we invest there early and then lose it, this being like a 2-lane game, I think we probably lose off of it. Cassandra Nova's not bad. I want to do the Gwynpool. But Nova is 10 power. Brings us to 13. Do they commit more than 9 there? I think it's kind of tough to commit 9 in this location this turn. Risky, but we're going to give it a shot. All right, so the Gwynpool. We should be fine. Gwynpool coming down. It'll buff up the cards in their hand, but we are going to take out a big 10 power in this lane, which is such a boon for us. We also know that they don't have Shang-Chi, so we don't have to worry about that. What are the cards you're missing? I'm missing Call Obsidian and Shaw right now. Those are the only 2 I'm missing. So we could either copy Red Guardian or Cassandra Nova. We could go ahead and drop the Symbiote Spider-Man to enable a double Silver Surfer next turn. Then we wouldn't really want to play anything else because it could potentially hit any of the other 3-cost cards. Maybe it's just Killmonger into Brood Surfer. I think that's the direction I'm going to go. And then Vexing. You said, holy cow, I haven't been buying a bit. We've been through a lot, my friend. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. I'm glad that you enjoyed the beard. I fight every day to decide if I want to shave it off or not. So the Atuma comes down from the Great Portal. They did snap into it, but what could they have? Not Shang-Chi. As long as they can't win Bar with no name, I think we're okay. We're going to give it a shot. You could make a big Orca. Wait, they go single card in. Is this Magneto? Legion. What a start. I said, what do you think about this week's Spotlight? Is it a must? I think Sable is, if you're running Bounce, which is great. Outside of that, no, not really. I don't think it's a must. Is that AIDS? AEDs? Thank you so much for the resub with your Prime. You said love the YouTube videos. Never usually on Twitch when I'm watching. Save my Prime for you. Thank you so much. Hopefully you're having a great night so far. If you don't have Mockingbird, Mockingbird is a fantastic pickup. US Agent is like hit and miss. There's some times when he becomes really great and kind of dominates the metagame, and then other times where he's just like unvaluable. So he's definitely a hit or miss. But Mockingbird's pretty flexible. You'll probably find that you use it quite a bit. All right, still their Nimrod, which is great to see. Snap into it. Go Cassandra Nova. You also have the Killmonger to take out the Nova. Buff Captain, you said hand buff has been doing good, so good with Symbiote. I could see hand buff being good, especially if you have like the Sebastian Shaw stuff. You said Symbiote Spider. I've been trying it in a Hawk shell with Grandmaster, Cassandra, and Copycat. How's it been going, John? Go ahead and throw Gwynpool. They did go Magic. The Wolverine. We know that they don't have the Nimrod line, so we have to look out for... we have to look out for maybe Null, Death. We could try to do Red Guardian onto the Wolverine so that it doesn't regenerate. But I think we're going to go with Sarah instead here. So Nico into Destroy, Deathlock. They're going to draw into every single one of their cards. Null becomes a really scary possibility, but so does Death. Since they don't have the Nimrod, I think we're fine there. This one could be another Cassandra Nova. Absorbing Man, Brood, both of those are pretty good. Go Red Guardian into Symbiote Surfer. That would allow us to stage like Killmonger, Copycat, Surfer, and then re-trigger Surfer with Symbiote Spider-Man. Enjoying the new Spidey? Yeah, I am enjoying the new Activate ability. And then Greedy Mac, welcome in.
Victory.
Hopefully you're having a great night so far. And then Raging, you're streaming late tonight? It is, yeah, I am. I decided that I would stream late. I didn't feel like I got enough time with the new season. Whenever I had to end earlier, I only got a couple hours. And so I wanted to stream a little bit longer. And so once everyone went to bed at the house, I got back up to do a little bit more streaming. Ooh, actually, speaking of, I was thinking of the Twitch drops. And speaking of the Twitch drops, I AFK'd in Alex's stream after I raided him earlier. And I have the mystery variant. I just haven't opened it yet. It's noon here. Greedy Mac. So we are exactly 12 hours apart because it's 12:30 a.m. my time. All right, so we have the Forge line. This hits Wiccan, which is wicked for us. The Morph is fine. Okay, Bishop, we have to look out for a little bit of clutter, but probably not heavy. the raft. We also draw Brood, which is perfect for us. You get the free raft resource, and then Acid Arrow comes our way. The right lane is going to be full, but we can buff it a couple of times. We can either Absorbing Man to copy the Brood. We can Gwyn pull into Sarah. Actually, we can open this lane back up with a Killmonger. If we need to. Let's do Absorbing Man to copy the Broods. Staying up late is very bad for your health. Pawn. Don't I know it? You're not wrong in the least. But unfortunately, it is something that I've always done. And during the summer, during the school year, I used to see. I used to get my schedule so messed up that I'd be going to bed at like 6 or 7 a.m., waking up at like 1 or 2. The Silver Sable a get. I think she's great if you like bounce. If you don't really care for bounce, then she's very skippable. So Cassandra Nova's on bottom. We have a 1 out of 3 to get our Surfer. That one's not Surfer. No way to really buff this lane. We can take out the 2 and the Acid Arrow. How essential is US Agent? I don't think he's US Agent. I think he comes and goes into the game or into the meta. So there are times when we're playing really big things, but like this deck, for example, that we're going against. Right now, Gwynpool is the only thing that he would impact. So there are some times where he can and will hit a lot of cards. Other times where he just won't give much value. Oof, the Kitty Pride is unfortunate. Gladiator, could it pull Surfer? No, it pulls our Cassandra Nova. Unfortunately, had it pulled a Surfer, that would have been beautiful. Unfortunately, it did not pull that. Surfer could have given us the win in the right lane. We had the win in mid. Oof, there was a chance there. There was a chance with the Gladiator line. That's all right. Get Silver Surfer with 1 key feels great. It does. Getting it with 1 key does feel good. Had no success with him in a negative deck. Great in discard. Are you talking about Symbiote Spider-Man? I did see a couple of decks that were performing well with Symbiote Spider-Man, like discard decks. One that ran Dakin, which I thought was kind of interesting. Glad pulling and killing Nova would have been fine. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think Cassandra Nova was the only one that it couldn't have pulled for us to be able to still win. Unfortunate. We'll turn it around. We're just getting warmed up. And then, as like you said, bless Lava, 3:26 p.m. I'm so glad that it's good your time, Ez. Because I know that most of my like typical streaming schedule or time isn't always great for everybody. Dakin doesn't work. Yeah, I know that the Dakin doesn't work, but I did see one that had like the Dakin, and I think it was an Arnim Zola. And so you can do some sneaky stuff with the Arnim Zola being activated by Dakin potentially. I'm not sure if that was it or not, but there was one that had both in it. So with Forge, we could full send over in the left lane. But drawing that extra Vibranium without having Surfer in hand feels kind of rough. Yeah, it's no longer Dakin. And so you don't want to merge the Symbiote Spider-Man, but I think it was a play on like the Arnim Zola stuff, or just standard discard to be able to like re-trigger Killmonger or whatever you needed. Let's see if we can win the right lane. Definitely win the right lane. So Hope Summers, Kitty Pryde, they do have Hydra Bob that's going to scale out either to the left or to the right. So I'm not feeling Symbiote Spider-Man does us a whole lot of good, other than like being able to stage him into like a double Surfer time to time. All right, let's go Surfer discount or Sarah discount into a couple of 3-drops here and a Surfer to the left. And then on the YouTube side, Dr. Pranjal said, good morning. It's 10:30 a.m. here in India. I'm so glad that I'm able to hit a good time frame for you guys, for my India viewers. So Magneto comes in, Hydra Bob popping over there. Then we do get a Vibranium. So I'm thinking Copycat. I know Red Guardian won't hit anything here, but we need the left for the on reveal. So it's only 4 here actually. So we lose the right lane. I think this becomes a loss too. Unless we assume they're just playing into mid. Thanos had the right idea. You said it's 12:30 a.m. in Florida. I work the 3rd shift, so it's perfect time. I'm glad that it's a good time frame and working out for some of you guys that I'm not normally able to hit. Snap to force the Bob to move. I snapped last turn to see where Bob would go. Unfortunately, I can't snap again. I'm not really digging. I thought I would enjoy Symbiote here a lot better as like a backup way to do Gwyn pull again, or any of the like value cards, but I'm not really feeling like he's like a huge asset into this one.
Escaped.
So maybe we go back to. I had fun doing the Black Panther stuff with him earlier. I think if you lean too heavily into that, it does become pretty like linear, transparent. I did enjoy it for what it was. I don't think it ever belongs in like a clutter style deck. Anything with like the Ajax line. I think Destroy is pretty good with the Nimrod stuff. It gives you like a really good setup. And so the Phoenix Force stuff I think is probably really good with him. But let's try one that runs both Sable and Arnim Zola. Have this one built out. So this one is going to be much more in line with like Wong shenanigans. But Symbiote Spider-Man has some good hits in really most of our cards. And so if we don't have the Wong, it can of course hit the Black Panther. We could have it hit White Tiger to trigger a second time. Or any of these are typically decent for what they are. And so we should always be able to get value out of the Symbiote Spider-Man with this deck. And then Panjal, you said, I really appreciate your videos in the stream. You and Regis are my faves. Both of you radiate too much positivity and humility. Regis is one of my favorite content creators. So whenever I like first was starting and gaining some traction, I think I was around like 8 to 10,000 subscribers. And I started having some questions about like as sponsorship deals came in, of course, it's something that I'd never dealt with before. And so I sent a Hail Mary message over to him because I had seen him like in the Discord a couple of times. And he very eloquently responded and gave me more information than I could have ever imagined. And it was incredibly helpful. And so, like, I don't like his positivity on stream or on screen. I think that definitely follows like who he is. I don't think it's a mask by any means. Table may be the best one cost. I think she's okay. A lot of times, or in a lot of decks, that one cost slot typically ends up needing to be something really high impact. And so a lot of times you'll end up using it as like a Korg, which is that rock disruption, or Sunspot if you're absorbing and skipping with a lot of energy. And so I think there's a pretty high bar for your one cost cards. Kitty Pryde in enabling so many like things to happen. But I do think I think it's in a pretty good spot. I think she's a decent line for just a drop, but I'm not sure she sees a lot of play outside of decks that will run like something to bounce her or trigger her more than one time. I think Symbiote Spider-Man works better with on reveal decks like this than with Surfer. Yeah, you can re-trigger the on reveals at that point. So I think you may be right. And so we can do, I think it becomes White Tiger since we did have Wong in hand. Oh, and we're playing against bot. I don't know why we're sweating a bot. And Waterboy, you said good morning from South Africa. My night's going well. Hopefully, hopefully your morning is going well as well.
We are the future.
So our Wong does pull over. Fortunate. Up being a wave. This would be fine. This would probably win mid. 6 is what we can typically do over here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and shoot for it. And then Punisher, thank you so much for the your alert should go off in a second. Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. I appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a great one so far. The Thor comes out after the Mjolnir. I think we were facing a bot is why I went ahead and stayed with this one. Nico or Nebula. Nico is also incredibly flexible. She has a very unique role. So typically one costs are either they have like an absurd amount of power for that slot range, or they have a really big impact on the game. I went to the dentist today and get Colgate toothpaste as my first ad. Papa Yeti. they knew that you went to the dentist.
Snap.
It's kind of crazy how that happens, but it does always seem to happen. You said Regis is definitely a genuinely good person.
Victory.
Happy to have him as a big brother in the community, and you too. I'm glad I started playing Snap and came in contact with Awesome. Thank you so much, Branjal. That does mean quite a bit, because honestly, I don't feel like I'm really that much of a content creator. I feel like I'm just some guy that started playing Marvel Snap and enjoyed it, thought it was really fun, and wanted to share those experiences. And it just kind of blew up into like what it grew into today. Thanos said that's exactly why I don't go to the dentist. They can't advertise to you if you don't go. All right, let's go Chavez here. I had to log out for a second. How's the deck performing? It's really early with this deck. I shifted over to this one. I mean, the early stats, I mean, I think we've only played a handful of games. but there were a couple of bot games, I think. And so it's performing okay for what it is, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and throw Medusa. I don't want to throw too heavy into the left lane. And then Punisher, love your content. Thank you so much. I love you being here, and just all of the positive vibes that we have in the channel. I would like a card that we could play over here alongside the Sable, but we'll settle for just 2 over here, I guess. And see if maybe we go like Symbiote Spider-Man, Panther. Ooh, we won't be able to go Panther on 5, will we? Alright, so they go Loki. We could potentially do Iron Man left. Double up on it. Can you explain the deck lines? A lot of the deck lines lean onto like Wong, Black Panther, Arnim Zola, Wong, White Tiger. The Symbiote Spider-Man ends up just being a decent hit for like several of these lower on reveals, and so like in mid it ended up being just a solid body, which we may end up throwing him here because next turn we can do Wong into either Black Panther, we can do Wong into White Tiger, and just have a pretty decent size mid range or mid level, mid lane. My goodness. Crossbones right becomes really tough to win. If they have a Shang-Chi, we're definitely in trouble. And then Utsu, what are you giving away? I have a premium mystery variant and a regular mystery variant to give away through the course of the night. And then Boosty, welcome in. I saw your comment on the last video that I posted, and I got a good chuckle out of it. Let's stage the Wong. But no draw for us. That's all right. Copycat. Double no draw for us. But I'm still going to say that's all right. So this could be 16. 4, 8, 16. We could potentially win mid if they weren't expecting us to fight here. Otherwise, it becomes kind of a Hail Mary of where the White Tiger goes. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it. We could also just forego the right lane, go like Iron Man left, bring this up to 48. We merge into mid and call it good. This deck needs Galactus. I feel like every deck needs Galactus. That's fine, right? You're going for the Magneto Disrupt. Take it. I thought Warhammer might enable an interesting turn sync activation for Symbiote. Warhammer. War Machine? I'm not sure which card you're talking about, Yeti. I'm horrible at bounce. Bounce is one of those that Super Zot, my message is highlighted. It is indeed Super Zot. And then Standby. Oh, you're back. Welcome back yourself, Standby. We stole their Cannonball, which I think is pretty solid. We have the Symbiote, Black Panther, Arnim Zola stuff. War Machine. It might be able to. That way you could play it a touch early. But I think it's still... You play like War Machine. They're both on 4. I think it still becomes about the same as it was before. Your voice is so good for narration. So melodic. So glad that you enjoy the voice. The Alioth comes in, which might be a glimpse into our future since they do have... I'm assuming they have a Wiccan in hand. Yeah. And we hit the Spectrum, unfortunately. And then we're going to shuffle our cards. So the Symbiote, Black Panther, Arnim Zola line is all going to go back into our deck, unfortunately. Are you winning? We're trying. We're trying our very best, Liquid Gloves. They do get the early Wiccan line. Slash it over into a Teelan. So no Galactus for them, if that's what they were trying to go. Do get the Arnim Zola back. We have the Black Panther line. It's not pretty, but it might be fine. Symbiote Spider-Man to re-trigger Goliath. Unfortunate. We have the double power up in Lake Hellas. To the wave line. So they may have been going with Galactus.
Wakanda forever.
But we may have disrupted it with their cannonball. Oh my gosh. Ads just started. I apologize, you guys. And Journey said, Indonesia here. Welcome in, Journey. So I think mid becomes kind of questionable. They can merge into the Goliath right now and have another one. This would end up being 16 power plus 4, so 26. They would need a little bit more to be able to compete with us there. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. I know our White Widow's not gonna be able to send the Widow's Kiss their way. Oh well. That's unfortunate. So the double Goliath is unfortunate that they got randomly generated. Is Sable stable? I think Sable she's all right. I think she'll be really good in like bounce style shells that look to do like the high roll stuff. Outside of that, you may not see her all that much. So we both start off with our Silver Sable. We have both Wong and Symbiote Spider-Man. Oof. Rough. Villain Nuevo, welcome in. Good morning. Hopefully you're having a great morning so far. So is it Hood? They have a way to send that our way or pick it back up? No, Rocket. Interesting. And so I'm assuming they have a beast. They did give us the means to do Symbiote Spider-Man on turn number 3. Superflow also gave us those means. We can always do Symbiote Spider-Man into merging with Silver Sable while we set up like Wong, White Tiger stuff. Are you calling in sick tomorrow? I am not Gungrave. I'm just going to be really, really sluggish. That's what I was thinking when I was watching Alex earlier. Was wondering if he was going to be calling in sick because he's been streaming for an extremely long time. All right, let's go ahead and merge with Sable. You can always set up the Wong over here. Might be the Wong decision though. Wow, you're a trooper. I was just excited to play a little bit more. So Falcon pulls back in their 1 cost, and they have a card that they're dropping here, Demon. Okay. So we know they have Rocket coming down the pipeline. With the extra energy. I don't know if it's great, but we can negatively afflict their next card by 6. I think is the fun line. Probably not the best line, but it's nothing if not fun.
Oh, snap.
And then Drew, TLSG is live. TLSG is live. I wasn't tired. I didn't feel like I was able to stream enough with like the Symbiote Spider-Man stuff to really feel happy with where we were at. And so I wanted to come back. Alright, all these are kind of generic. Oh man, that would have been good. All these are pretty generic that we can just casually make progress on as we play. And then we'll focus on like the grindy ones later. Currently 11 a.m. where I am. Must be quite late for you. It is. It's almost 1 a.m.
Breaking news.
You have your own alliance? I do, Jose.
Opponent snapped.
Do we think this is a bot? I mean, we have the... If they don't have a counter to it, we have the line. Late Night Brewing is beautiful. Astrid, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. The discard deck, I don't think they're going to have much counterplay other than maybe Moon Knight. We have to look out for that line. But... other than that one, I think we're in a really good spot. This one could be a bot. They snapped on turn 1, which is wild for a bot.
Oh,
Snap back into him. Draw Black, you said just woke up here? 6:45 a.m.-ish. Well, welcome.
Hey,
welcome in, Dro.
welcome. It took you long enough.
And then Falnix. Phalinx? Sorry. Phalinx. Thank you so much for the 1 month at tier 1. I appreciate you being here and appreciate the support. Let's go ahead and go White Widow. Next turn, we'll go Wong left, Black Panther left, Arnim Zola left. What time is it in your time zone? It is almost 1 a.m. It's about 10 minutes away from 1 a.m. And so incredibly late. Never realized how bearded you actually are. Typically, I'm not. This is very abnormal. This is probably the longest I've ever grown it out, and it is eating away at me. Every day I have to convince myself not to shave it. So we have the Wong line, we have the Black Panther. I don't think it'll be Wong of us to drop the Panther. Arnim Zola, I'm thinking we're probably fine. Typically these decks don't have a lot of counterplay to them, and it could be a bot that just snapped on turn 1 on us.
Wakanda forever.
Lumberjack TLSG stream. I mean, we missed that opportunity. Whenever the hurricane came through my area, I did have to get a chainsaw and I was chopping down trees.
All hail Hydra!
We hit the Black Panther first, so it's not going to be as high of a high roll,
Wakanda forever.
but it's still pretty good. 32 power, 34 power in the left lane. Don't do it, just let it grow. I'm trying. My wife enjoys it, but I think I just need to shape it up.
Victory.
We'll take bot matches for 8 cubes every once in a while. Said longtime fan of the YouTubes, wanted to show some support. Thank you for being here. Just being here is plenty, especially for this being like a definitely like abnormal stream time. But just being here is more than enough. You guys being in the stream, being active in the stream, is what allows me to continue to like do these, get the occasional like, sponsorship that helps support me and support the channel. And I still think it's crazy that I'm even able to like start to consider trying to go full time. And so that's because of all of you guys. We can go Chavez left. We have Cassandra Nova left. We do have the Wong line on 4. We also have their Moon Knight, which we're probably never going to play. Unless Copycat pulls out of her hand, then we'll have to. Go Silver Sable. Unfortunate. We lose our Wong because it hits the 1 out of 3. It hit the Wong one, I'm sad to say. And then Gambit ends up hitting our Sable. also the Wong one, unfortunately. All right, so we can go Cassandra. We do have Black Widow to stop them from drawing, so if it looks like we're going to lose the left lane, we can always throw Black Widow so they don't get the extra 2. Then Lynn Sanity, welcome in. He said G-Man is so fun with the new card. G-Man is pretty fun with the new one. I played it a very little. Are you running the... Oh my goodness, Alex, returning the favor from earlier. Such a massive raid. And just like that, we are at a... Oh my goodness. Alex, hopefully you had a fantastic stream. I was just thinking about you. Streaming incredibly late. I was wondering if you were going to call in next turn, but Alex, with the massive raid, by far the highest peak viewership I've ever had at this point. And so, welcome in, you guys. I'm going to give you a shout out to the 100 people we had hanging out here beforehand. But if you don't know who Alex is, incredible content, absolutely wonderful vibes. And you should definitely know. You should definitely know who he is and who his what his content is. But thank you so much for the raid. Raid bigger than Alex's last Gilgamesh. Did he have a solid one? And Alex, were you able to hit infinite? I know that you were getting really close whenever I launched up and started the stream, or jumping back into my stream. But I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're having a good night. We're doing a little bit of experimentation. I've found that Symbiote Spider-Man has some good lines if it's completely uninterrupted. But if you're running into anything like clutter or junk, sometimes it can be more awkward than it's worth. I was at 99 and then lost a game. Oof. And so before tilting, it's probably a good choice. If you're needing to take a little bit of a break. But especially if you have work tomorrow, I think you definitely need some sleep. I don't know why we stayed. I was so distracted by the raid. We should have retreated out of that one. They had the discard line all lined up. Silver Sable got him to 99. Silver Sable is solid, especially in the bounce style shells. I ran her in a Celine Doc Ock deck a little bit earlier today, and it was doing great. I'm still trying to learn the season pass card. The season pass card I think is really interesting. It creates it's almost like a pseudo or substitute Shuri or Wong. So if you don't draw those lines. So using it with Nimrod can get really big really fast. Using it with Black Panther can get absurd. Outside of that, I think having those very specific hits for him can enable him to do some crazy things. Same thing with Galactus. Galactus can do some craziness with with Symbiote Spider-Man. You think Silver Sable is pull worthy? I think it's really early on. I think as far as a 1-drop, insane value. You saw Alex at PAX. He was playing is it Altered? Definitely interested in seeing how that game does. I'm deciding between Sable and Madam Web. I think Madam Web is going to be much more versatile. And so if I had to choose one or the other, I'd say Madam Web for sure. And so the snap tells me they probably have Falcon to pull these back in. We have Black Widow. We're not going to be able to do a Black Panther. We can always Symbiote Spider-Man into a White Tiger. Altered? How is it? Whenever I saw it in development or read about it, it seemed like it was only paperback. Is there going to be any kind of digital platform for it? That's what holds me back from ever having played Magic the Gathering. Is that it's so much easier to just load up my phone and play a couple of games versus needing to go to a card shop or a local place that has other people that are playing. I wanted to play him, but the game he was playing took 30 minutes. Phalanx. Hopefully you'll have another time sometime in the future. We may need to shift off of this one before we end up losing too many more. So they have a really big Human Torch already. We're gonna be able to do Symbiote Spider-Man into the Medusa line. It's not huge. The Bad Web is going to make the move 7 cards in a match a cakewalk. It absolutely is, Molten. And I think even outside of like movement decks, I think Madam Web will be strong just from that like standpoint of your opponent's not going to know where your power is going to fall at the end of the game, which is so tough to play against. So if we did something kind of sneaky like Symbiote Spider-Man merge into Medusa, that'll be 13, 16? 16 left, 16 right. Yeah, I know that Magic the Gathering has the mobile port now. But it was so late in the game, and I was already playing Hearthstone at the time, that I never ended up like picking it up. And then we have the timeout from Kiss Best. I think to have the channel points, I assume you've been here for a while, so I assume you know what the timeout does. But we will see you back around in 2 minutes.
Victory.
We have some time to think about what you did, my friend. And then Pranjal said, "Is Alex here?" So Alex was here, probably headed to sleep. He streamed for I think close to 12 hours, and so it's incredibly late his time. So he may not be in the stream anymore. But he said he's the enthusiastic dad of the community. Yeah, he was on the Twitch side, and hit us with a huge raid. So any of you guys on the YouTube side, we had a huge event from Alex come over. And Thanos had the right idea, coming in with the timeout as well. I'm gonna snap you right out of the stream for 2 minutes. We'll see you when you get back. And then Nightshade claimed the snap. We'll go ahead and snap on it. We do have like the Wong into Black Panther. I think is pretty decent. We also have a more expensive Psylocke. Then Chris, what's your favorite unpopular card? I like Uatu. Just as like a general character, I really enjoy Uatu. So I'd say that's probably my favorite unpopular. Not in the game, like I couldn't play him for the life of me, just because he like locational information has been crept out of the game. Like it's not really strong anymore. I don't know if it ever necessarily was, but it's definitely right now not very strong. And so I like the card, I like the character, but it's just not one that I can ever play. So we can set up a Wong into the White Tiger line, or Wong into Black Panther. But even with an Arnim Zola, Black Panther would end up being, it would be a gamble if it's going to get hit. And Rickster said, just a random question, have you heard of or played a card game name called Keyforge? I feel like I've heard the name thrown around, but I haven't played it or seen any gameplay of it. Sandra Nova would be fine. We have White Tiger, which I think helps get us out of Asteroid M a bit. How's the climb? The climb's not bad. We took about 8 hours off while I was like making dinner, spending some time with my family, and then we're back on the grind now. Can Symbiote copy Wong? He can. He can copy Wong, but all it essentially does is buff up your Wong to 8 power, and so it doesn't like do anything big over the top of that. Arnim Zola might be okay at throwing a couple of extra tigers around. Gonna fill up the left lane. If they have anything big here, I think we're in trouble. We're always gonna lose left. That just becomes 8. back out of this one. We are trying to climb. Is the stream lagging for anyone else? It may be all the people here. But on my end, it looks like my oh no, it does look like the stream, it looked like it dropped a little bit. So hopefully it clears up. I am hardwired in now. It should help with some of the lag. I thought it doubles the long. No, because it'll merge. It'll keep his text, but it doesn't like double his ongoing ability. Vodka, you said it's lagging? Symbiote on ongoing is better on Iron Man. Yeah, I would think so. And then Chris said it's good now. It may have just been a lag spike. Hopefully. Didn't see a winning line there. Yeah, I didn't either, Papa. I think Symbiote is better with on reveal, but if you're going with the ongoing line, something like Iron Man I think makes more sense.
Live from the Daily Bugle.
Sanila, you said it's been occasionally lag. I thought you said consistently. I got worried that it was a consistent lag, but if it's occasional, maybe it's just like, you know, the network speed. Is the giveaway over? I have not done the giveaway yet. We still have a premium mystery variant and a regular mystery variant that are queued up, and we're gonna give those away a little bit later on. All right, let's go ahead and go Cassandra Nova. We can go Symbiote Spider-Man. I guess we could have went Black Widow there. We have the Symbiote Spider-Man into Black Panther into Arnim Zola line, which is one of my favorite uses for him. If they don't have a way to like counter it with a Shang-Chi Shadow King, it puts so much power across the board. Symbiote worth 6k. I think Symbiote is really fun. He creates some, being the first activate card, he creates some really cool combo plays that were just impossible for. But he's also like, if they're running any kind of like White Widow, if they're running Kate Bishop, they get an acid arrow. You can completely like derail a Symbiote Spider-Man like combo line. So I think in that regard, I don't know. I think he's strong, but it becomes much more or like glass cannon versus something that may be consistent in the long run. But it's also day one with the new ability. Someone may find like a really cool line to use for him. I've seen people doing double Dr. Doom, double leader, all kinds of cool stuff with him. But each one has a weakness to like a simple debris. So junk ruins the meta again. Yeah. Speaking of the White Widow and the junk ruining the meta, we have... Wait. We got the Ajax from Daily Bugle, right? Oh, no. It's a copy of the card in the opponent's hand. We could gamble. I don't think a simple Ajax will do. I think they're going to swing this lane for sure. I think we just gamble and see if it goes. It's only for one additional. Just wait for him to drop on Series 3. 5 years from now, maybe. And I don't know that it's junk ruins the meta. It just keeps things kind of in check. I ran a Dr. Doom. I was thinking about using him in like a Blink style line. Ooh, Man Thing left. They didn't even go Ajax. Did we get lucky? No, never lucky. That's all right. And then Pawn said Pixel Wong variant or any pixel. You like or an ugly one. Okay. All right, let's see if we're still going to run this deck or not. I was kind of thinking of looking at the Galactus line, but it still falls. It always falls to like any kind of junk or clutter. I do like the Taskmaster stuff. We had a Panther Taskmaster deck earlier that we were utilizing. So I like the Taskmaster Odin to give you some like kind of alternate lines with the Wong stuff. So maybe we try this one. Let's look for the Pixel Wong avatar. I have quite a few avatars unlocked at this point. I don't think I have Pixel Wong though. And so you said any Pixel variant you like or an ugly one. And so whenever someone tells me to pick an ugly one, I always either pick Sabretooth or Korg. Both of those just look horrendous. It looks like it probably zoomed up a little bit too much into like the pixel line. I'm going to go Korg. He's horrendous in a beautiful way. Put on a little bit of that. Sabretooth is the winner. I think they both look kind of goofy. Win with Thor, move 7, discard at least 4 in a match. I think we're just going to hold off. I was playing Galactus and it was working. The Galactus line I think can be really strong. Where it falls to is if they run any kind of like junk or clutter. And I've been seeing a fair amount of like that crop back up. But I do think it's an interesting line, especially with like the Wong Forge stuff, to be able to really reinforce that Galactus. Thoughts on the Taskmaster nerf? It makes me sad. The Taskmaster nerf makes me so incredibly sad. Like he's still very much playable in most decks, but it did seem out of nowhere. I agree. I know that they said it was because a future release card like broke it, but it definitely felt out of nowhere. So I'm curious, like, what broke it so much that one extra power could bust it, or could kind of fix it. How did the Surfer deck work? The Surfer deck part of it was fine. I think it's very much a pretty standard Surfer deck. Symbiote Spider-Man, however, didn't seem to be doing very much. The doctor said bots are easy 8 cubes. I have been cooked by a few bots, and so... Anti-Venom? Anti-Venom's the like Beast-like card, right? The one that pulls them back in? Oh, set it to... Okay, set it the power and cost to 0. I guess it could have been. But that just seems like it'd be a solid synergy. Like, it'll still do that, though. And so I don't think that bringing it up to 6 would fix it. Human Torch with Madam Web. It does seem like it, but that's still a super glass cannon that could be, like, broken open. With, like, Shadow King or Shang-Chi. Preemptive nerfs are lame. Said it once. We'll say it a million times. I agree. Especially when they fill out of nowhere. Like, there was a negative deck that was really popping. That was doing well for Taskmaster, but that still works with the change. Just maybe a little bit less consistent, but not a crazy amount. I think I'm going to go Gwynpool. I know that we have the energy to do like a Black Panther line. But if Gwynpool can hit Black Panther like once or twice, it's a huge boost for us. What a waste of resources and data on Taskmaster cost increase. We'll see. That Taskmaster is unfortunate. If we get cooked by a bot, might have to end. You said Toxin, not Antitoxin? Wait. You said Toxin's the best card? Which one's Toxin? Right now, they all sound really cool. I have their effects in my head or in my brain, but the specifics of which one is what, I always get mixed up. So that's the 2 cost 1 power. Return them to your hand, and then plus 2 power for each one returned. Yeah, that one's I think is going to be really strong. I think that'll go into a lot of bounce shells pretty well. Oh my gosh, guys. I missed the snooze. on the ad, so they're about to start. The bot is cooking.
Wakanda
The bot's trying to cook. And we may not be able to stop him. I guess 12 power here. Maybe it's just an Odin to bring it home. As long as they can't beat 12, they can move the vision. This goes up to 16. We'll try the Arnold Zola line.
Cut off one head.
Did their very,
more
they
shall
did their
make
very
it
best.
Wakanda
Moving the vision
forever.
could have actually tied it for him. And the ads didn't start, and so it does look like it's time for a quick set of ads. We're going to push them here as we start and log into our next game. Wong Ironheart? Wong Ironheart would have been good, I think, actually, yeah. Wong Ironheart would have ended up being like 4 triggers, which would have been pretty big. I don't know that it would have been enough to win right with only the Taskmaster there, though. And then it probably wouldn't have been enough to win left either. If we had an extra card over here, I think that could have been a better play for us. Easy 8. Not even worried for a second. Instead of Taskmaster is going to stay at 6 cost, then he should get same functionality as Dracula. Oh no. I feel like that if that's the case, since he's on reveal, you could hit him with an Arnim Zola, and so like a big power on 4. I guess if he's 6, maybe not. But if you ever get him out early, you could then hit him with like an Arnim Zola, and his power would get crazy really fast. I wish Ironheart could hit herself. Would be a nice small buff. It would, unless you're needing to guarantee that it doesn't go that way. Which sometimes, with that lane, you can have Wong staged. You can do the Ironheart into like Sage. So you don't always need the extra power over there. So we can do an awful lot of Gwynpool bonuses in the left. I don't think it's the best play. It almost never is. But it's always the tempting one. Rickety Bridge is kind of scary. They're going to go left. So if it's a clog... Okay, Nocturne. Nocturne's probably fine. They can turn off Rickety Bridge whenever they want to. How's your stats with this cook? So I recently switched over to this cook. I've been having trouble committing to one. So the last one that I had that had like the Arnim Zola, the Black Widow, it was 6 and 4 for 14 net cubes. So a 60% win rate with 1.4 cubes per game. So it wasn't bad. This one so far, I guess we've only played one game with it. We're 1-0, 100% with this one so far. Psylocke into Gwynpool and Bar. Could have been good, but then it, especially with Rickety Bridge, I was worried about being able to fight for that one. So we could stage the Symbiote Spider-Man, get another Gwynpool going, or we could do the Symbiote Spider-Man left. Then it can merge with itself. Open up additional space. So then we could do like a magic to rip away the extra. And then Virus. The fast drops are active for you, my friend. So Rickety Bridge is gone. Your fall in mid is unfortunate. Jean Grey coming down into Shuri's lab. And then a big silver sable. For science? We're gonna do it for science, Victor. Or Victorian. We're gonna do it for science. And then 1MV, thank you so much for the resub with your Prime. Looking forward to seeing what you accomplish this season. All the new cards seem hype. I'm so excited for the season. So that it can merge with itself. You can copy the symbiotes, right, with task. Oh, we can, right? So does it become like activate, 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 and then throw a Taskmaster? If so, huge. And if that's the case, I think we skip this turn. Wait. I think we skip this turn and then we do it next turn just to see how it goes. I heard he doesn't re-trigger locations. Yeah, he doesn't re-trigger locations. Just the owner reveals that he has. Maybe don't activate the one you played. Okay, Sandman's fine. We're perfectly fine with Sandman here. Does it mess with the order? It shouldn't. We're gonna give it a... You may crash the game. We're gonna try. Wait, do I do one more merge? No, it doesn't have anything to merge into, right? That way it gives them all like a solid target. Here, here, and here. We may crash the game. And then we go into the Taskmaster line last. This is gonna break the game? I don't know, we're gonna find out. I'm not gonna snap into it because I do want to see it play out. We'll see. So the change in Warrior Fall into the destroyed maze. Okay, we have one Symbiote Spider-Man. Another... Wait, are they not gonna... Oh, I should have done the last one. We're still gonna win. We're not gonna win. We should have merged the last one just in case it did like a weird merge order like it did. Unfortunate. We could have had the 64 power over here. I feel like we choked that one. Definitely a fun line. Being able to do Symbiote Spider-Man into Bar Sinister is one that I think is really cool. Yeah, it was the last one. I don't know why I thought we needed like a solid, like standalone standpoint guy, but apparently that was not the case. I mean, science was done today for sure. Now we'll see if we can do some climb. Weird interaction, definitely a strange one. And that's what I'm having the most fun with this card, like doing, is finding out those strange interactions. Because those are things that previously weren't possible. He said lessons learned and a fun one at that. There are going to be some times where it's going to be really fun to use that. All right, so we could go Forge into like Wong. I think I'm just going to go Wong though. Maybe Wong, a Black Panther. We have the Taskmaster line on the last turn. Or we can potentially end up getting like the Arnold Zola.
The Sorcerer Supreme.
White Widow with Doctor Strange is this a bot? That makes no sense to me. White Widow needs another nerf. Having such a cheap... it's not about the Widow's Kiss's power, in my opinion. It's about just the clutter that she provides. And it's such a cheap, like, easy to use. I think the overall stats on her are relatively, like, mediocre. But she definitely feels very frustrating and probably will bounce it. Bot for sure. I don't know. G-Man? Could be G-Man. Ironheart? G-Man here becomes really scary. Needs to be an on reveal. What needs to be an on reveal? G-Man would... No, White Tiger. This has to be a bot.
Wakanda forever!
So they can slap an Odin here, but it's still not huge. Symbiote Spider-Man, we can do 16 power in this lane. But if an 8 goes here, if they do an Odin onto the White Tiger, lose that one. Strange and a White Widow Zola all day. We don't have Zola. Zola's in our deck. Otherwise, yeah, it was definitely Zola. If you had one. Gotcha, Pika. If we had one, it was definitely going to be the Zola. Stream go down? Wait, am I back? It's on now, but going in and out. Oh, man. That's gonna just... Oh, man. That's gonna destroy our numbers, isn't it? Dougmond, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. I'm so glad that our internet is deciding to act so strange.
It took you long enough.
No, you're good. I mean, we're back now, but I definitely think it tanks the viewers a little bit. It was a 10-second crash. I have the crash protection on thing, right? Thought I did. Dougmon, thank you for the follow as well. Very laggy. I don't know why though. I almost want to maybe cut the YouTube side to see if that helps.